After a long but winning road trip, the first-place Braves return to Truist Park to serve up some home cooking during a big 9-game homestand. But Southern hospitality will not be on the menu this week against the Yankees or the Giants, and certainly not the Mets. Max Fried, returning to the Truist Park mound for the first time since May 5th, gets the party started tonight. Braves, Yankees, next on Valley Sports. Braves baseball on Valley Sports is presented by Truist. After a long 11-game road trip, the Braves back home to face the New York Yankees in town for a 3-game set at Truist Park. And we welcome you to the broadcast booth. Brandon Gaughan, Jeff Francoeur, and the rose between two thorns is the Hall of Famer John Smoltz with us for the next 3 games. Well, Atlanta took care of business in New York to finish off that long road trip, but Jeff, they've been so good here at Truist Park this season.
Well, you know what, the first month or so, they're about 500, and then they kicked it in here at home, and it's really been such an advantage. The way, if you look at these numbers, 37-20 this season at home, over 6 runs a game, and really you're coming into the most important homestand of the year, the Yankees, the Giants, the Mets. So you feel good about the way you're playing, and John, you feel even better when you got your ace Max Fried on the mound tonight.
Yeah, it's so huge for the Braves for Max Fried to get into form before the playoffs, and this is his first start, as you mentioned, in a while. And I think about 4 starts and he'll be back to form. You miss that kind of time, you're going to have a good game. You'll be a little off like he was the second game, but if he can take advantage of this Yankee lineup by throwing strikes and don't pitch to Judge, it'll be a good thing for Max Fried and a great thing for the Braves.
And certainly the home crowd will be excited to see Max Fried back in the center of the diamond tonight. And a little extra buzz with the Yankees in town. The start of a 3-game series coming up next on Valley Sports. For game 1 of the series, and for the first time this year, won't be Ozzie Albies starting at second base. It'll be Nicky Lopez getting the call tonight. And for more on that development, let's go down to Kelly Kroll.
Well, Ozzie Albies left last night's game with hamstring tightness and was still feeling soreness this morning. He is currently, as we speak, going under more tests, and we are hoping to have certainly a follow-up with that. But you know how tricky those hamstring injuries can be. So in the meantime, it'll be Nicky Lopez starting at second base. Had a chance to talk to him. Of course, got the start at shortstop on Saturday. And guys, he's played all over the infield, so he says, I'm very comfortable at second base. He got out with Wash, worked around the bag a little bit. It's really that double play feed to Orlando. He said that's the trickiest part, but certainly looking forward to this opportunity, and he knew all along his role would be giving guys rest, and right now it's getting Ozzie healthy to be back out there.
All right, thanks very much, Kelly. Let's see the lineup for the New York Yankees, who, as most of you know, have been stumbling this year. 60-58, last place in their division, 13 games back. Aaron Judge, biggest name, of course, on that roster, and the biggest man on that roster, batting second in the order. And Max Fried, his first start here at home since May the 5th. And the first pitch, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa singles through the right side. All right, what about the forward keys tonight, guys?
Well, I have build back up. You know, you heard Smoltz say it on the open. Say about 4 starts, hopefully, and you'll have Max who'll continue to take that threshold. And then home sweet home. We talked about 23-7 in their last 30 games here at Truist Park.
John, what are you watching for early? Max Fried, his 3rd start back from the injury.
Well, when he can have touch with his secondary stuff, command is always going to be the issue. When you come back after a long layoff and you could feel the command come back, then you're in good shape. And I think the big thing, nobody's going to worry about his velocity. It's just going to be the ability to kind of maneuver in his second and third pitch. And I feel like after the loss the Yankees had last night, that this first inning was going to be key, because they're going to want to come out and reassess themselves.
They gave up 5 runs in the 9th yesterday down in Miami. They were up 7-3. They lost that game 8-7. They've had some heartbreaking losses this year, but that may be at the top of the list.
Especially the back end of the bullpen has been so dominant for the Yankees this year.
Aaron Judge, everybody knows this guy. Awaiting a 2-ball no-strike pitch here from Fried. And he takes it in there. Good fastball, 2-1. Judge has had his injury woes this year, missed 54 games with a torn ligament in his right toe. And the Yankees, understandably, have been much better when he's been in the lineup versus those games without him. 3 balls and a strike here.
And see, when you missed the amount of time, and people ask me all the time, well, what do you think it takes for a guy to get ready for the postseason? I really think it's 3 to 4 starts, because the first start was perfect, right? Everything came out, adrenaline, you got the emotion back in the mount. And then you got to get used to the 5 up, 5 down, meaning every 5 days doing that thing over and over again.
Another single through the right side. Kiner Falefa will trot into third, so a good start for the Yankees. They're at the corners with nobody out.
I told you, John, Wednesday after his start in Pittsburgh, chatted with Max for about 15-20 minutes. He said as good as he felt in Chicago, felt the complete opposite on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Just out of whack, out of sorts. But again, the one good thing he said that I'm comfortable with, my arm feels good.
Yeah, and that's the key, because you've been missing that whole time trying to rehab and get ready. Simulated games don't mean as much as you think, because you can't really simulate what's going on right now.
Well, the Yankees with a big opportunity. Normally it's the Braves crushing teams in the first inning, but Gleyber Torres coming up here with nobody out and runners at the corners.
Well, the one thing the Yankees haven't done that you're used to seeing them is slug and score a lot of runs. Now, that mainly because Judge has been out. But Sean Casey, the new hitting coach, has reestablished a different philosophy. And really what he's trying to get those hitters to do is grind out at bats like this, take pitches, go the other way, and really institute not only the knowledge that they get from information, but really get them battling and making pitchers sweat them again. You remember the last couple of years, pitchers had to sweat this lineup.
Yeah, they brought in Casey on July 10th after a disappointing first half of the season for those Yankee bats. But they're in search of early offense here. Gleyber Torres, 26-year-old native of Venezuela, waits a 2-1 from Max Fried. And he fouls it out of play.
Wonder how Sean Casey likes shaving every day. I haven't seen that guy clean shaven in I don't know how long.
That's a good point.
I remember, Brian McCann, when he signed there, that's what he had to take the whole beard off. It was, looks like made him lose 20 pounds.
Sean looks good clean down there. 2-2, and this one popped. Eddie coming in. And that is not deep enough for Kiner Falefa to tag, so the runners stay put on the corners, and Max Fried gets the first out of the ball game.
And that's a big out. Besides the obvious, you keep the double play in order, and you've got a guy that can swing and miss in Stanton. But you also know if you make a mistake, he can take you out of the yard. But Stanton is an interesting. I don't know how you feel, Jeff, but I mean, he can look like he can hit it 600 feet, or he's got skates on his spikes and he spins a lot in the batter's box trying to hit a pitch.
It's interesting, I feel like the last 3-4 years he's never been able to stay healthy, so he can never get a consistent thing going. And then you saw at the play the other day where he ran from second to home, and it just because of those injuries he can't run like he used to.
This year it's been the hamstring. He was out April 15th to June 2nd with a left hamstring issue. And that's the thing, the combination of him and Judge out, they really started to sputter, and now they're sitting here just 2 games above 500 in last place in the AL East.
Well, Max is just coming off of that sinker a little bit. You can see him pulling towards third base and the ball missing. If he could get a changeup, he get that double play ball even on a 2-0 count. Looks like they're going to go in.
Max misses upstairs with a fastball, and it's 3-0. You guys mentioned the 2 starts. So good in Chicago August 4th for Max. 6 scoreless, 8 strikeouts. Ran into trouble in Pittsburgh, giving up 4 runs in the 4th, and exited the game after that inning. There's a strike.
I would say his arm feels okay.
Yeah. No, it's all about mechanical repeats and repeating that over and over again. It's getting the same release point, not falling off, not pulling off. That's going to come. That's going to come in those 4-game starts, I believe.
He missed outside there. Home plate umpire Chris Siegel not giving him the call. And the bases are loaded here with one away.
Well, sometimes, and Smoltz, you can speak to this, that ain't the worst thing that could happen right there when you fall behind. Instead of grooving them one, let them make it 2-3 nothing.
And now Harrison Bader. Some Yankee fans here at Truist Park trying to get a "Let's Go Yankees" cheer started. That's drowned out by a few boos.
I'm going to tell you something right now, boys. If he gets that pitch for a strike, which was above the zone, that's a good thing for a breaking ball pitcher with a 97-mile-an-hour fastball.
Fried trying to work his way out of a first-inning jam here. Misses down and away that time with a changeup.
See, I feel like I know they got a game plan, but I feel like you get a breaking ball strike up above the zone for a ball, make it pressure on it. Go right back up there. Go with a fastball up there. Put the pressure on the hitter because he didn't, it's only strike one, but he probably felt like that was a ball.
Yeah.
Ground ball to short, softly hit. And Arcia will go to first, and the first run of the game comes home. It's 1-0 New York. Well, they got the ground ball. There just wasn't enough mustard on it.
How many times do we see off Max because of the movement, because of the change in speeds, he gets soft contact? In a situation like that, though, you want the ball hit a little bit harder. With Bader, no chance to turn two, and smart play by Arcia. Maybe could have flipped it to second just to get that one, but made sure he got the second out.
But a chance to get out of this with only one run in as he faces DJ LeMahieu.
For me, everyone knows Judge is the guy, but when DJ LeMahieu got hurt a couple of years ago, he has not been the same hitter. This is one of the best hitters in baseball, wins a batting title in both leagues, and he has just not been himself for the Yankees, and now he's coming back from another little injury that kept him out of a couple games.
Yeah, the last 5 he's been out with a calf strain. Here he laces it right at Arcia, and Max Fried only gives up one after the Yankees got him loaded. And the Braves bats coming up. So the Yankees draw first blood, a run at the top of the first, and now Atlanta bringing this lineup to the dish, presented by your local Toyota dealer. With Ronald Acuna. Again, the changes at the bottom. You have Michael Harris now batting second. Nicky Lopez getting the start in place of Ozzie Albies, and he will be hitting 9th in the order. And on the mound, it's a homecoming game for Clark Schmidt. He grew up in Ackworth, 20 miles northwest of Truist Park. This is his first time here pitching against the Atlanta Braves.
Well, the one thing I can tell you, you're going to see a lot of cutters. He's got a great feel against right-handed batters. The struggle this year has been against left-handers. He throws a lot of strikes to right-handers. It just seems like his eyes, his picture work well against righties. He's got that slider, curveball, and you saw the four-seam fastball. He's going to come after you.
He grew up a huge Braves fan. He idolized Tim Hudson. I don't know if you guys would say that's a good thing or a bad thing against him, but
I did read where he's saying he was playing for free this week.
Yes, because he's got 50 friends and family here. Acuna hits it to short. Volpe, nice backhand, and a good throw across to get Ronald.
Well, even with 2 strikes, Ronald's still able to put it in play, and good play, and knew he had to get rid of it quick. And this is weird, seeing Michael Harris come up and not Ozzie Albies in this situation right here.
Ozzie had started the first 117 games for Atlanta, but out tonight, as Kelly told you, with the hamstring issue. So Harris bumps from 9th in the order all the way up to 2nd.
You know, and sometimes certain guys, hamstrings not as big of a deal if you're Matt Olson maybe or something, but for Ozzie, that speed is a huge part of his game and what makes him electric. So hopefully it's not too bad.
He left the game last night in New York with what they called a cramp in his left hamstring, and still bothering him today. For Harris, this is his first time this year hitting above 5th in the order. And he fouls it back, and it remains 0-2.
Well, John, you said he's coming right after you.
He does.
7 pitches, 7 strikes.
He does. And when he's got his cutter working, he's been tough. I mean, his first 4 or 5 starts was a little rough, and then everything after that has been really good.
There's the knuckle curve. A ball and 2 strikes now to Harris.
Well, I've already seen what the most popular thing in this stadium is.
What's that?
Fans.
Not
like, the
yes.
portable fans like there. It is smoking hot.
It is about as humid of a night as you could get.
It's not too bad up here.
Feels pretty good. We got the air at our back. And he goes back to that knuckle curve, and he gets Harris on the 1-2 pitch, and there are 2 away. And now Austin Riley, who continues to remain hot since the All-Star break. Over his last 25 games, Austin hitting .346, 12 homers, 30 driven in.
Yeah, him and Olsen have been the best 3-4 duo in baseball since the All-Star break. I mean, have just been crushing pitching.
This ball is crushed. Right field. Does it have enough? Yes, it does. Hello, Chop House. We are tied at 1.
I'll tell you, when he is most dangerous, it's when he does not care where that ball's hit. He's got as much power as any right-handed hitter in the game. And here, John, you just see a fastball, a little bit away. He lets it get deep and just lines it to right field. The way the ball's flying here during the summer.
Well, that's the key. And any hitter shuts the windows of opportunity for a pitcher to get you out. He's going to be really, really hard to get out. And you think about it, he broke in the league, he set it on fire, then he went into these slumps and he became very vulnerable outside. We always talk about, you know, when Chipper was up here, the influence Chipper's had for these 2 hitters really. And that's huge, man. Pitching is going to expose weakness. And if you can go to the same area every time, you're going to get that guy out. But if he closes it, you got to think of a different way.
Well, now he is tied with this man, Matt Olson, for the most homers in Major League Baseball since the All-Star break. Each of them have 13. Of course, Matt leads all of Major League Baseball with 43.
And speaking of a different way, on the 23rd, you're going to have to come up with a different way to call home runs. So are you ready for that?
I've already got a plan. You'll just have to find out. Glab's doing the first one.
Well, yeah. I mean, we got to get Glab's word count up, too, by the way. We kind of boxed him out of even, you know, and he's like that. Very, very, stoic. I'd call it stoic. And but we got to get him. You think they give him an incentive for the amount of words? Yeah, word count.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, if you guys didn't hear, running it back, the players only booth when the Mets are here on the 23rd. Going to be a lot of fun. I'll be home, like I said, so it's great for me. It's a free night.
This is the difference too with Matt Olson, guys, since he moved to the 4-hole. Fouling off pitches like that to keep yourself alive and force that pitcher to throw another one makes a mistake.
And a good eye there, and the count runs full. Clark Schmidt, the Atlanta native, with 50 friends and family watching him. He's given up the homer. Now a 3-2 here to Olson. Bat to center field, but this one he skies. And Bader waits and takes, and that'll do it. Each team a run in the first. Austin Riley, opposite field to the Chop House, and we're all even. Braves baseball on Bally Sports is presented by Truist, as it usually is. A packed house here at Truist Park. Yankees and Braves tied at 1. Austin Riley with a solo homer to even things. And now we head to the second. And Max Fried facing the bottom 3 in the Yankee order. Pitching to the 22-year-old rookie shortstop, Anthony Volpe. And a soft liner into the mitt of Matt Olson. Good start to the second for Fried.
You know, we talked about how hot it is, and this is one of the hottest stadiums in baseball. Do you know where the coldest stadium is in all of baseball?
I'm waiting. There's definitely a joke in this.
Well, no, it's San Francisco because they have a giant fan in every seat.
He'll be here all night, all series.
See, Brandon, you don't know him well enough. You gave him the courtesy laugh.
Well, yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I'm not going to lie, Fritzy.
Funny.
It's funny.
This one finds the bat. Well, after getting the bases loaded and having all that traffic in the first, nothing like just a few pitches to get 2 outs here in the second.
There's nothing better. For a first pitch out, anyways, for a pitcher, is like gold. Because we're so obsessed with pitch counts and pitches in an inning, that just gives you freedom to kind of attack the next hitter, right? And you always want to get the first hitter out, but you get them out with 1 pitch, there's nothing better.
And the first 2 batters with 3 pitches with the 9-hole hitter coming up. Make this a 5-6 pitch inning.
That 9-hole hitter is Oswaldo Cabrera. Weather like this, John, what did you think as a pitcher?
Well, we learned to love it, right? I mean, you train and you're playing 81 games for the most part. Not all 81 are going to be like this, but I'm telling you, in '93, that's why we caught the Giants. They came in and they were wilting. I mean, they pitch in the West Coast and it's always cool there, so it's easier to kind of. And they came in there, you know, we chased them down in '93.
Soft grounder, first test for Lopez. Unable to get enough on the throw, and Cabrera runs pretty well, so he beats it out for an infield single.
But the bottom line is, if you train for it and you run and you're in shape, the pitcher should thrive. But you cannot afford to have a 30-pitch inning, right? You can't afford to have long innings. It'll tax you pretty quickly. And I'm talking during the day too, but it's as hot and muggy at night. You'll go through 2 jerseys if you pitch long enough.
It was 95 earlier today, 91 right now, but again, that humidity is so high right now. So back to the top of the order here in Kiner Falefa. But it's got to feel good for Max Fried just to be back out there at Truist Park. Had the 2 road starts, but first time here making a start since May 5th. Oh,
Got him.
Tag applied, safe. Ben May says that Cabrera got his hand in there, and the Braves missed an opportunity on a great pickoff move by Fried.
He got it in there. They're not going to challenge. This is where, and we'll take a look. Made a great move. You gave him time.
The throw is what pulled him off to be able to get the glove to the bag.
So I mean, that's where, and I'm not an infielder, but you got to at least move forward on the bag.
So no challenge, runner in scoring position now, and a 1-1 count. Curveball misses inside. For Max Fried's second ever start against the Yankees. Had a start here in Atlanta 3 years ago against New York and pitched well. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 run. But obviously these 2 teams don't see each other very often. Just his second go around tonight. Lined, and that's fair. So you go from the possible pickoff move to being safe at second, and now out at second. But of course the run counts. Boy, what a strange inning. But the bottom line is the Yankees get a 2-1 lead out of all of that. Let's see if New York wants to appeal it.
He just slid past the bag, and Ronald put a good throw, and he stuck with it.
No, they don't want to challenge. Yeah, he's out.
Coming in hot.
Too hot. Catcher Travis d'Arnaud leading things off. Let's take a peek at our Synovus Get There feature. Well, between Murphy and d'Arnaud, they are just having an incredible season.
Yeah, they've been an unbelievable tandem. When you talk about just giving themselves breaks too, they lead the NL in all categories combined.
Sean last night caught the brunt of the bat of Mark Vientos on the follow-through swing, had a cut in his head, stayed in the game. But Kelly, do you have an update on Sean?
Yeah, I went over to him this afternoon, and he said it was the pitch comm that really, by the way the bat hit the helmet, it kind of got him in the head there. He goes, but don't worry, I saw the footage. It looked way worse than it was. I'm perfectly fine. I wanted to stay in. You guys know how tough he is, but here's a look at what happened last night. And it was right there, and pitch comm got into him, and just created this, slice, and the blood was running down his head. It was gross. But between the two of them, he and d'Arnaud, they're just the toughest they come, guys. Tough as nails.
Yeah, and I think when the Braves got Sean Murphy, there was obvious excitement. But I think this two-man, I don't know, you don't want to call it experiment, but I think it's gone even better than they could have envisioned.
It's incredible. It's such an advantage. That's a position that you're willing to give up some hitting for if you get the defense, and they got both. Like,
yeah.
It is, I don't know, I personally can say I didn't know how good Murphy was. Right, played on the West Coast.
First base easy here for LeMahieu, one away,
and he's been unbelievable, and everyone knew how d'Arnaud was going to do. But
yeah, look, I think Murphy came over here too, and you go from the Coliseum, which is big, it's cold sometimes at night, to this park where the ball travels a little more, and he's just riding this offense right now and being a part of it. Whether he was going to play today or not, it's a tough turnaround. Team getting home at 2:30 last night. Probably by the time they got to the park, it was 3. Good night for him to just watch a ball game.
Yeah, but Sean already has a career high in homers. He's already 2 RBI away from his career high in that category. Pretty spectacular what he and d'Arnaud have done. Now Ozuna takes a strike.
And it's another game changer because Ozuna early was really struggling. And when he got hot, that offense went to another level because now it lengthens that lineup where the pitcher goes, oh, shoot, I got to face this guy too.
I said it. If you go back in May, first week of May, when he got going, they started to really take off. And then when Michael Harris added in on the 1st of June, it was done.
And throw in the lineup shuffle that put Ozzie second and Matt cleanup, and everything. The stars just all align.
He's got one of the prettiest, when he's mechanically right, he's got one of the prettiest swings in baseball. And, obviously you get out of your mechanics in anything, but he keeps a bat head in the zone. Really, it's like he just slices the bat in the zone all at once. It looks like it stays there forever.
Man, people don't really realize it until you get close to. I mean, he is thick. He's big. That's why I call him Big Bear.
Or Poppy.
Or Poppy.
That's what you call him. 3-1 pitch. And down and away. So 1 on with 1 out here in the bottom of the second. And that will bring up left fielder Eddie Rosario. But you got to think that the heart is pumping a little extra for Clark Schmidt tonight in front of the friends and family. I mentioned that he's from Ackworth, started out at Tuna High School for the Bucks, and grew up a Braves fan. And a return home here tonight. Still has his off-season home about 15 minutes from Truist Park.
No way this ain't a 2-jersey night.
Line the other way, and it's fair off the bat of Rosario. Ozuna on his horse. He's into third, Eddie's into second, and the Braves are in business.
Brandon, we saw Eddie do that in New York the other day too, and if he would do that, they give him that whole side over there.
Oh, it's amazing. He's the highest swinging out of the zone batter in baseball, right? And what did he hit? A ball in the zone. He did that same thing in New York. It's just amazing. Pitchers can't trust that they never have to throw him a strike. It's the hardest thing to go up there and see the numbers and go, I just walked a guy. You mean I don't have to throw another strike to this next guy? And inevitably he takes advantage of it. You got to give him credit.
And now the Braves a chance to either tie or take the lead here. Orlando Arcia, first pitch, fouls it off. But you said definitely a 2-jersey night.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, if he pitches more than 3 innings, unless he's superstitious, the weight of your jersey when you sweat is just, it's mind-boggling. You got to get you'll feel like brand new when you put another jersey on.
If BMAC was catching tonight, how many jerseys would
17. What's the over-under?
the BMAC would go through a few. I think Cincinnati's the hottest they've ever been. It was a 3-jersey. I mean, they had to put one back in the dryer just because it was a day game. Guys' spikes were melting in Cincinnati because they had the old AstroTurf.
Yeah, that AstroTurf.
All right, so like I know players don't play like if this were the playoffs, but this scenario right here is going to play in the playoffs a lot. A ground ball to shortstop scores a tying run, right? For Arcia and for the Braves, the only vulnerability, if they can make contact in these situations, they're going to win and go deep.
Let's see what he can do here. A ball and 2 strikes coming. And that one inside.
But I like the approach of what he did right away. He's trying to swing early contact. You see too many people in these situations take pitches. And, John, that's where the Braves have been so good this year. They got 236 2-strike RBIs, tied first in baseball.
But they've done a great job cutting down strikeouts. Last year, 2nd most. This year, 6th fewest. That's huge difference, and that's why they score a lot of runs.
Strikeout there as Arcia does chase that cutter from Schmidt. You talked about that cutter, and it got Orlando there.
But that's going to be the key. I mean, I know in this game it's going to be a lot different in a postseason game, but the tension's going to be the same. And if you're always trying to get a hit, which I know that's what hitters want to do, and forget that the tying run less than 2 outs is on third base, contact's king.
Now Nicky Lopez, his 2nd start as a Brave. His first start is one he will always remember in New York in game 1 of that doubleheader. My goodness, the 4 hits, the homer. He came in and pitched at the end of that ball game as well.
Give up a knock and then got three fly balls to get us to the bird.
That's right. Made that flight.
John was about to step in and do the last inning.
And now no balls and 2 strikes as he gets the cutter by him.
But I'm shocked. I mean, I know that it's hard to hit. I get it, right? But I would love to see some club try a bonus system in those situations all year and never strike out and you get paid the bonus. You don't even have to get a hit ever.
There's a hit, perfectly placed by Nicky Lopez, and he's given Atlanta the lead. My goodness, what a start to his Braves career.
You know what, guys, this is where you give a lot of credit to Alex Anthopoulos. You look at kind of at the trade deadline, what did this team need? Well, they had everything they needed offensively, but if something was to happen to an infielder, you needed someone that could give you quality ABs like you saw the other day. It's a perfect example. Granted, it's a mistake. It's an 0-2 spinner down the middle, but
yeah,
drives in 2, plays great defense. We showed that stats. Got the most outs above average since 2020 in all of baseball.
Well, that's a huge hit, no matter if it's a regular season game or not.
Yeah.
That's the thing, Frenchie, you're talking about. If you have that kind of in your back pocket player, depth is going to win out in a postseason and a regular season because you know injuries are inevitable.
Yeah, but you got a guy now you feel you can plug in, and he's not Ozzie, but you feel like he can give me a great AB and play great defense.
So a 2 RBI single for Lopez. And Jeff, think of his first 2 hits in New York. They were to left center field. That one right down the left field line.
Stayed on top of it. Look, he gets who he is. He's not about to yank one out of here. He's going to put a good swing and try to shoot it up the middle the other way.
Unless Danny Mendick comes in to throw and then he hits it 900 feet down the right field line. I think that ball's touching down at LaGuardia right about now.
That is by far going to be his farthest home run he ever hits in the big leagues.
This guy's hit some long ones. Ronald, 26 homers this year. Nicky breaks for second. And he's safe. The throw taking Torres off the bag.
That throw actually beat him. If that throw's more on the money, he's out right here, but it took him way to the right. And Lopez, John, does a good job here of going outside, kind of doesn't let him tag him.
Yep. Well, that's a great shot. So a runner in scoring position here. Acuna grounded out back into first. And takes that one down, 3-1.
You know how they always teach to throw to the bag? With the guys sliding head first now all the time, I would shorten that up and have the second or shortstop 3 feet in front of the bag.
And how many times you get that and they tag the shoe when they slide in?
Ooh, big swing from Ronald.
It's another reason Ronald's done so well this year. He takes a big swing like that with 2 strikes. How many times have we seen him cut his swing here and shoot the ball to the right side? Yeah, last year hit 161 with 2 strikes. This year 275.
He's been amazing. You know I got to do a lot of national stuff, and from afar everybody talks about Acuna and the adjustments he's made and the maturity of, you know, not only getting hurt, but some of the things that would happen on the field. You don't see it anymore.
No.
And a really good eye. Clark Schmidt wanted that call, but it looked off the plate there on the sinker, and Ronald walks down to first base.
It's the other thing, John, just his eye.
Well, he's got it all, and everybody knew that. I mean, everybody knew what a young player, when he grows into learning how to navigate, make adjustments, learn from past. And in 1 year, he's done all of it. And he's such a weapon, to say the least, in every aspect of his game. Arm, defense, legs, and obviously offensively.
Quick meeting on the mound here. Matt Blake, the pitching coach, is out. Yeah, Ronald got a couple of steals in New York, and he became the first player with 25 homers and 55 stolen bases in a season since Ricky Henderson back in 1990, and it's still only August 14th.
Yeah. I mean, the challenge is going to be, hopefully for Snit, you know, they get this thing locked up. There's going to be a balance point of resting some players and letting them achieve some things, right? I mean, that's always the challenge of any manager.
Well, I think the thing for the Braves, if you can wrap it up with a couple weeks left, you can take that week off right after, and then the last week of the season, play.
Yeah.
Get all your bats and ramp back up.
Michael Harris to left center. Lopez around third. It's 4-2 Atlanta. All of these runs with 2 outs.
Michael Harris did such an incredible job here, Frenchie. He swung big and missed a lot of pitches his first time up. They were beating him in with the cutter, and he goes the other way on that cutter that just spun right there.
And you know, John, you were talking a minute ago during the playoffs, cutting your swing, put it down. This is where I think this team's improved so much. You talk about the strikeouts, the 6th least in baseball. You see that. Get a situation like that. You're not seeing the big swing. You know, all I got to do is shoot one that way. They're giving him that. And he has taken advantage of it. Again, after 150 ABs, he was hitting under 200.
That's really amazing.
And now Riley, who went the other way for a homer in the first.
It could have given me 1,000 players to guess who's the only one hitting better than him since, what, June 1st or something like
15th.
that?
Or 7th, June 7th for Harris.
Bellinger.
Yeah.
The only player.
That one gets by Higashioka, and so the runners go to second and third here.
Who do I remember those my first 3 years? Golly. Led the world. Oh, golly. I just led the league, and I was good at the play at home plate. Man on third, wild pitch, run to home and try to field and tag.
Well, now 2 in scoring position for Riley.
John, what's the toughest thing here? You got to line up and just at batter after batter keeps coming up, and you can't really slow it down.
No, you can't. And look, he doesn't really have. Now, if he could learn a slower breaking ball, it would really complement this hard. Like, you just think hard. And if he misses in the middle, you swing, right? And if he paints, you tip. You tip your hat.
This one's back toward us. 2-2.
Yeah, like you said, there's the sweeper, and it's at 86. Still a good velocity.
And Riley strikes out, going after that sweeper up in the zone, but the Braves get 3 with 2 outs, and they lead it 4-2. Let's go places. And by Georgia Natural Gas. Live the greener life.
It is 4-2 Braves as Max Fried heads back out in the third, and he told me this is a start he is really looking forward to after his last outing. Not only just to get back on track, but he mentioned it's the first start at Truist Park since early May. It's against the Yankees, and it's his turn to set the tone in a really long homestand here, guys. But he did point out that one of the biggest things he'd be working on here this night is in-game adjustments, making those quicker. He goes, it's about getting sharp, getting back to game speed. But I saw him in the dugout, John, just a moment ago, kind of going through the pitching motion. And I'm thinking about all that time he had off. What is the most challenging part about those in-game adjustments and being able to make them quicker?
It's just timing and getting used to timing. It's no different for hitters who are off. You know, they got to see pitches. But it's the timing. And pitching is all about rhythm and routine. And when you can get your routine and timing down, it's a lot more fun.
He starts pitching here to Aaron Judge to begin the third inning. And there's a strike, 1-1. Well, such a long layoff for Max, the 3 months. Then the 2 starts, now here his third, first at home. And he gets the call there on the outside corner on the changeup.
See, I've already witnessed, if I'm catching tonight, I've already seen enough inch or 2 on that side of the plate. You've really got to take advantage of that side of the plate, even if the information tells you opposite. The umpire is showing you that that's where the leniency is.
Trying to come back inside here, and Judge gets a piece.
And that's where Max, you'll see, I think, is, John, you said he gets more starts. He was trying to come in. He left that one out over the middle of the plate. He got lucky.
I'm telling you, he did against one of the best.
Reigning AL MVP. Reaches for this, and it's going to be an innocent pop fly to left center. And he'll take it. 1 away.
But see, that's not on every occasion, but that's what happens when information trumps what you're seeing. And when you're seeing something, it should be the ultimate decision maker on how you adjust. And I know they're programmed differently today, and rightfully so, because there's so much information. But if a guy bat speed is slow today and he can't hit a slider, well, if your bat speed is slow and you're not the tip, then you're giving them a chance with a off-speed pitch, right? Stuff like that. And the veteran pitchers, you see them really pick up on that. And then there's some guys you could just never, you don't have to ever change. They just swing the same way every single time, and no need to try to trick those guys.
1-1 to Gleyber Torres, who flew out back into first, and he's going to fly out here. Who wants it? Ronald.
There's a good piece that Joel Sherman wrote in New York this weekend that I was reading, and he talked to Walt Weiss a lot about the Braves and how they kind of differ in the fact that they give a lot of the information to these coaches. The coaches take the information, read it, all that, but then, like you said, John, they'll take some of it, apply it, some of it with their eyes, tell them a different story,
right.
But they're allowed to do that. And that's what I love Ron Washington talking about.
We might have to hold that thought because there's room for Travis d'Arnaud. We'll pick that up at the bottom of the third. A nice 1-2-3 for Freese. Xfinity Live look cam. That pool looks pretty nice.
Oh. I can't get in a pool yet.
Well, you
6 weeks post.
Oh yeah, your hip replacement. You're moving pretty good though.
I'm moving good, but I want to get in a pool.
Well,
he's got both his hips now. Wondering when the knees, the excuses are starting to flow.
He's a bionic man.
I got younger.
The question is, we talked about it being a 2 jersey night. Is it a 2 shirt night up here for you?
It started that way, but I'm kind of like thinking calm things, and it's cooled off.
Well, we do have the breeze at our back. Right center field off the bat of Matt Olson here, and that gets down. Matt makes a big turn, but will hold it first with a leadoff single.
That's the thing. Matt has been hitting tons of home runs, but he's been doing this too, getting on base. You see, that's just a spinner right down the middle. He's actually lucky this ball didn't get hit out of here the way he's been swinging it.
It's a great play by Bader. Wow, I mean, he got that and threw a missile to second.
I want to get back, though, Jeff, to what you were saying before the break. It seems like, and you and I talked about it a couple weeks ago, but even though these Braves coaches are a little bit older, see if d'Arnaud can get down the line. Yeah, ball came out of the glove of LeMahieu. The coaches are a little bit older, but they seem to be a really good mix of old school and new school and pruning that information and telling the guys what they need to know.
Well, and they give them good leeway. If you see something, be an athlete. And that's what Wash tells his infield. He's like, if a swing dictates one thing, I don't want you to just sit there and look at the card and think I got to stay here. If you think it's going to be 2 steps, go 2 steps. And he said Arcia did that in Chicago last weekend. Moved over 2 steps, ended up getting a double play. He said if he doesn't move, it's a base hit up the middle. And that's the thing. But you look at this coaching staff, and John, you can say it, been around forever.
Yeah,
all of them played in the big leagues and have experience.
They have so much experience. A lot of them have managed, and they understand that this game's been playing for a long time. To be trumped totally by information would be foolish, and to never look at information would be foolish. And I just laugh at things like the scoreboard matters, but analytics will tell you the scoreboard has no bearing on how the game should be played.
Yeah.
You tell that to an experienced manager when you're up by 2 or 3 and you protect the line even though a guy doesn't hit the ball down the line. They understand the scoreboard matters, and when you play to the scoreboard, it affects strategy, it affects the way you make decisions. But if you never thought of the scoreboard matters and you just go based on information, I'm telling you, you'll lose more games than you'll win if you just stick with that and never deviate.
But this staff seems to mix both so well, led by Brian Snitker. This one right down the line, and by Kiner Falefa. It stalls in the corner down there. It allows Ozuna to get to second, Olson to third with one, or rather d'Arnaud to third with one away.
Well, that's a perfect example of, I've seen teams in the 9th inning up by 2 or 3 and will not protect the line, and that will happen. And so, of course, this is just really good hitting and getting the barrel out in front.
Man, he's so strong. We talked about it. Last night he got a double, cleared the bases, and now again here in the third, Poppy gets 2.
I knew you'd get that in. Infield coming in here for the Yankees.
This first pitch should be nowhere close to the plate. I'm just saying, if you're thinking along the pitcher. And he got away with it because that's a rare take.
Eddie had a double and then came around to score last inning.
I think Eddie might have been thinking what you were thinking. No way this guy throws me anything near the plate.
Eddie's swinging here. That's way high.
But I give Eddie credit, man. I don't know how he does it, because the numbers and everything that you look at in the chart and you go, okay, there's a lot of areas I could go to.
He's come up with some big hits, though.
He does take there as that knuckle curve comes down and in.
I mean, I've never seen a player get so hot at the right time to win a World Series.
That NLCS and
I've just never seen it. I mean, the ball had to look like a basketball to him.
He's awaiting a 1-2. And here's another big hit for Eddie Rosario. The Big Bears coming home. And he's safe. 2 more in. And Atlanta has a 4-run lead.
Well, you talk about this offense, and this, John, is what we've said and makes this so different. Every inning, it seems they got a couple guys on and have a chance. And they just continue to put runners on. The ball's not even close to being a strike, and he just goes up and gets it. And look at Ozuna running.
I tell you, Wash does such an incredible job at third base. I mean,
he's got the perfect attitude for it. I mean, I hate to say, you almost got to be cocky over there like that.
And the guys just love Wash. I mean, every time, whether they're doing infield with him, they're joking with him in the clubhouse, down in the dugout, everybody reveres that man.
After you guys left and sat on the plane for like 100 hours, there was a play where Wash was so ready, the center fielder slipped, and it took literally a half a second.
Was that where someone scored from first, right?
Scored from first, and he was ready and on the moment stole a run, because it literally had to be perfect for him to recognize, send, and then score.
Orlando out to center, another hit. Eddie around third. Oh, it dropped the ball. Higashioka couldn't hang on. Eddie slides in safe. It's 7-2.
And you said it, John. You talk about sending, and Wash always tells me it takes a perfect throw, and not over a perfect throw, but a great play by the catcher. And here was a good throw.
Bader's got a cannon.
Yeah, but here's a good throw, and the catcher to make the play.
I mean, this is right there. I'm telling you right now, that's a big difference between 2 outs and 1 out, right? With 1 out, there's no chance that Wash on that guy and that arm sends him.
But it worked out for Atlanta.
Yeah, when you feel like you got this kind of firepower, who cares? Send them.
And guys, earlier we were talking about how the Braves aren't striking out as much. The 2 strike RBIs. They have 5 2-strike RBIs tonight alone.
Yep, it's been impressive. I mean, you're talking about a team that came in here with their dauber down. They jumped on, got an early lead and gone.
And again, this is after 4 games and 48 hours in New York, getting home at 3 in the morning. They just show up and play. That's what they do.
Braves coming off that 10-day, 11-game road trip. It was a long one indeed, and won't have an off day until Thursday after this series.
And that was another thing in that article Joel Sherman was talking about, was just that these players play every day. And when your best players are out there, you have the best chance to win the ball game night in. And that goes back to Bobby, man.
Oh, the hit parade continues. It's 8-2 Atlanta. 4 straight hits.
And Nicky Lopez keeps this up. He's going to get himself a 3-year deal somewhere.
He just doesn't look much wrong with his swing. He'll swing big one time, and then, like you said, just cut it down and keep your head down. And right now, Boone's trying to figure out if he could just get through this inning, and he's had to use so many pitchers.
And now here it is, the 3rd inning still, and Ronald's up for the 3rd time.
Braves 1 in the first, 3 in the second, now 4 here in the 3rd with just 1 out.
He's got to slow the game down, so he's asked him to go back out so he can go get him.
And here comes Aaron Boone. Well, Clark Schmidt, who grew up just 20 miles northwest of here, a big Braves fan. This was a homecoming with a ton of friends and family here tonight, and this is not what he envisioned.
take every second he can to get his reliever ready. You know, I mean, this happened. Whenever there's 2 outs, your manager's like, I know he can get one more out.
There's only 1 out still.
Yeah, that's how fast it is. It's been 1 out.
That is it for the Atlanta native. Back in a moment. Baseball is brought to you by the Georgia Lottery. Today could be the day. By the All-South Highway Safety Team. Never mix drinking and driving. And by Delta Airlines. Keep climbing. Nicky Lopez is quickly becoming a fan favorite. 3 ribbies here in this ball game. 5 in his first start as a Brave. So now with 8 runs driven in his first 2 starts with the club, that's the most by a Brave in the first 2 starts since the RBI became an official stat back in 1920. How about that?
That's just unbelievable.
And that will lead us into our Febreze Fresh Stats. Talking about this Braves offense, the month of August, almost 8 runs per game, guys.
It's just ridiculous to think that, you know, can this continue? But I mean, the amount of home runs they've hit is they're gonna shatter the all-time record.
Yeah, they should beat the Twins from 19. But this which makes them different to me this year compared to other teams, as we talked about the 6th least strikeouts in baseball. They've scored 8 runs tonight in what, 2 1/3 with only 1 home run.
Yeah, that's right.
You're getting the base hits at the right time.
Hey, this guy, have you seen it? This guy's nasty, by the way. Hamilton, he's got some electric stuff.
First year with the Yankees, signed a minor league deal back in February, worked his way up with a big club. And he gets Acuna to hit to the right side, but it's perfectly placed. One of the softest hit balls off of Acuna's bat all year, and it still finds the outfield.
He gets that right off the end of the bat. I mean, this is like exit velocity king, and right off the end. I mean, literally can't get it any more off the end.
No. And it's hit so soft with Stanton in right field that Lopez was easily able to go first to third.
Now, what's the, I mean, does he steal in this situation?
1 out. I've seen Ronald go in pretty much every situation this year,
I
so
don't think.
wouldn't surprise me. Well, they're going to check over.
Yeah, I guess it's fair game. It's only a 6-run lead, and there's 6 innings to go.
You got to remember who's the third man. Ron Washington. He'll tell him to keep going.
The Braves now have 5 straight hits. Runners at the corners with 1 out. Not going as that bounces in there.
But see, this is what people don't understand, right? So now the game has changed philosophically, and pitchers have not been really good as a whole keeping runners on. So it's this combination of,
yeah,
it's the stress now. This pitcher has stress because not only is the batter at the plate, but he's got to worry about an unbelievable base stealer, and he's going to go as fast as he can to home plate, which will alter a pitch or two. And now you've got a situation where the hitter benefits. Before, station, swing and miss, walk, you know what I'm saying? So like the game today, so glad some of these things have come into play and has brought the athleticism back.
And that's one thing that's favored the Braves when you look at some of the athletes they have.
Yeah.
Ronald and Harris and Ozzie when he's in there, and even like Riley, he might be big, but he's very athletic over there at third base.
Atlanta 5 for 7 with runners in scoring position so far tonight, looking to add to that here. Upstairs, 3-1, a walk loads him up.
And see, he's quick to home plate, but you know he's trying to be quicker, and so now
you're missing. Yeah. Now you're 3-1, and if you walk him, the bases are chunked for Riley with 1 out.
Missed outside. And the sacks are full, and Austin Riley will be the 9th Brave to come to the plate here in the 3rd inning.
You know, sometimes it's the small things too. You go back to start this inning, guys. Olsen got the single, but Darno busted it down to first base beat out a double play, and it has kept this thing going. Otherwise, you got 2 outs, nobody on, probably a whole different inning.
Riley, the solo homer back in the 1st. And that pitch is low on the fastball.
Well, going back to the article you're talking about with Joel Sherman, everything in this game is a mindset and trainable. And I guarantee you there's people out there waiting to say, see, they played him too much.
Yeah.
They played him too much. No, that's not the narrative here. And that's why they're having the year they're having. I mean, how many guys have rested because it was their day of rest and they were hot?
No, that's exactly. The guy got 3 hits, drove in the winning run. Well, we're getting the day off. No, you're in the lineup. I want you to have the day off when you're 0 for 15.
Ground ball to short, and Volpe takes care of that with a double play. That's just what the doctor ordered for the Yankees, but the Braves get 4 more home and have a commanding 8-2 lead. Atlanta already 8 runs on 10 hits. So after the Yankees scored first in this game with a run at the top of the 1st, Atlanta has taken over. And Max Fried, after sitting over in the dugout for 21 minutes, returns here to face Harrison Bader.
Good and bad with that. And the bad is it's 21 minutes. The good is, you know, when it's that long, you're getting runs.
That's what I was just about saying. Don't you mind? You don't mind it down there.
No, you learn how to deal with it.
Bader grounded out, but produced the run back in the 1st inning for New York.
But it can get you out of rhythm because you're not prepared to sit that long, right? I mean, anytime 9 hitters go to the bare minimum is 3 you're going to get when 9 hitters come to play, so you know you'll take that.
Swinging at the 2-0, and Acuna comes in for an easy catch. Our Xfinity Game Changer feature. If you look at Max's numbers over the last couple of years, he's gotten better as the season has gone on. And if you just pare it down to the month of August, he's 16-2 with a 2.22 ERA.
I mean, that's incredible. I mean, his career in interleague is 1.98.
Which is impressive going against some of these American League lineups.
I mentioned just his 2nd start here tonight against New York. He did have a really good start against them a few years ago in August of 2020. Well, obviously, everybody hoping that at some point Kyle Wright returns. That would be gravy on top. But you feel like with Fried back, everything is kind of falling into place here for this Atlanta rotation.
Well, it is in this regard, too. I mean, you know, there's something unforeseen happens and they don't get one of the best 2 records, which seems highly unlikely. But let's say they get the best overall record. Now, in a best of 5, you don't have to have 4 starting pitching in theory because you're facing a team that had to burn at least 2 of their starters, and so it gives you a leg up. Where it gets interesting is with the deeper you go, then you have to have, I think, a solid 4 that you can count on, with your top 3 really being major players.
And if you actually break down the playoffs, the NL plays on that Saturday, the NLDS, and there's an off day Sunday, Monday, off day Tuesday to get them in the American League on different. So Braves actually get another thing because they can bring Max back 1 and 4, no problem, full rest. And I always say this: a team that's coming to play, you just played in a best of 3 series.
That's right.
You hope they play 3 games and just keep using the pitching.
And look, we're going to have situations every once in a while like what Philadelphia did last year. It got hot.
And San Diego on LA.
San Diego ran the table, but you watch this. You watch this charted out over the next 5 to 7 years. If you're the best team and you get a rest, you should benefit. It shouldn't be. I know it's a 2nd season. There's randomness involved in it. But if you get beat in a best of 7, you get beat in a best of 7. But you got to handle that best of 5 because that's the tricky one. That's oof. Never liked them.
But you can say this too. If you think about in the American League last year, the 1 and 2 seeds, Astros and Yankees, they both moved on to the LCS. Yeah. Just happened the National League didn't happen. And for the Braves, look, they had Strider got hurt. They had some injuries down the stretch.
John, I remember when the wild card was introduced back in '95, and in the first round you guys had to face the Rockies, who had a really good lineup. And just as a fan back then, I was thinking, gosh, this could be a disastrous situation.
Well, it was disastrous in this regard. Whoever, and I think Bud Selig, there was a reason why we had to start there. Made no sense. We started on the road.
On the road, yes.
It made no sense. They're the wild card. We won the division.
It went 2 on the road and then 3 at home.
And I get it. You get 3 at home, but you're starting on the road. You
lose the first 2. You're down 2.
Yeah, you got to win 3 in a row at home. So never liked that part of it, and they changed it, of course, after that. Yeah, they were scary, and they had us beat.
Shallow center, long run. Lopez won't get there, and then it falls in front of Harris. Now nobody's at second.
Yeah, that falls on Max right there. I mean, everyone was kind of watching the play. When all the infielders go out, Max is going to have to get to second base there, and he just was late recognizing it.
Frenchie, it looked like Nicky wanted it and then stopped, and then Michael stopped too.
I would think the only guy that really had a chance at the ball was Nicky Lopez. If he would have kept going hard, it had that spin where it fools the center fielder for a second, where you think it's hit better than it is, and Harris had to come a long ways.
So with 2 outs, Volpe gets to second base, and now this one bounces away from d'Arnaud, and Volpe gets to third.
d'Arnaud had no shot at that ball.
But in that series, Don Baylor ran out of position players.
Did he?
The pitcher had to bat against Mark Wohlers with the bases loaded. Chipper hit a huge home run.
I was going to say, for a hitter, you didn't mind going out to Colorado.
No, shoot.
We'll start a couple games out there.
It was not a fun place to pitch, that's for sure.
I think Chipper hit it bounced off that high wall and right maybe at Coors Field, if I remember correctly.
But I say this all the time, that I think, I mean, I haven't researched and dated all the offenses that have been in one postseason. I don't know of 3 better offenses that we went through. The Rockies were legit. The Indians were unbelievable. And Cincinnati doesn't. People don't realize how good offensively Cincinnati was.
Austin Riley gobbles this up, and the Yankees strand a runner at third. It's 3D powered by Google Cloud. The 43 homers, they have been spread all over the ballpark.
Man, that's a beautiful sign. You know you're going to have the big moon shots. He's going to hit some in the chop house, but you love when you see the other ones. Driven it into that left center gap. Some right down the line that he lets get too deep. We saw one of those in New York the other day. And so far, again, 43 home runs, has passed Ohtani, and I'm guessing he's got his eyes set on Andrew Jones, 51.
Here are the numbers. Our ruling the plate brought to you by Burger King. 43 of them right now for Olson.
That's a nightmare for a pitcher when you see that spray chart. You'd rather have a guy that just pulls them. More ways to get him out. I don't know if you guys knew this or not. I just got a report. There's 3 networks doing the game tonight. So it's a battle of the.
But there's only one that matters, Joe.
Well, we're winning. So just so you know.
Who wants to watch Mark DeRosa?
We got MLB Network and Mark DeRosa, and I don't know. He turned off a lot of people in that video.
That's why I had a lot of people say I'm done with him.
Yeah.
I don't blame him.
I actually had the TBS producer say they're not plugging his mic in tonight, and they're letting him wear it, but they're not telling him it's not actually plugged in.
And then we got the Yes Network, you know, obviously over here. So
yeah,
it was tied. It was tied early, and then I don't know what part of our broadcast kind of.
I think the on-camera sold everybody. I think that's what it was.
We got to get Brandon a home run call.
A signature?
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to develop organically.
You know, because we could have Glab do Michael K's. See ya.
What are you, Mr. Copyright?
Yeah.
I did appreciate during that first telecast where you guys were all together, where you got on him for stealing the home run call of Hawk.
I mean, I didn't
Let me tell you, I've been waiting to do Hawk Harrelson call my whole life, so I don't give a rat's what anybody says.
I don't mind the first one.
The second one caught me by surprise, and that's the only thing I could think of.
Down the left field line, but this one is angling foul. 3-2 to Matt. I thought you had a great one, Smoltzy, when you just said, and that'll do it.
I mean, when he went to me, look, when he went to me and says, all right, big boy, it's your inning, because, you know, he was nervous when I called him out on just make it, you know, organic. And I told him if he had to look that up. And he goes, I know what that means. And so literally I got quiet and I didn't want to think about anything. I just wanted it to just happen. And that's all I could think about.
But it summed it up. That'll do it.
That's the same thing with poor Larry and Crown. It's just I figured Larry and Crown go together.
He drinks? I didn't know that. Okay. Well, walk to Matt Olson, and now Travis d'Arnaud's third at bat tonight. Well, you talked about a pitcher going through maybe a couple of jerseys on a humid night like this. Nobody wears it more than the catchers.
Oh, wow. Look, we used to give them all grief, but I have tremendous respect for that position. I mean, you think about what BMAC did all those years here, making all-stars, hitting 300, and just
putting on weight during a season. That's a bigger record than any of it.
We were giving him compliments. You didn't have to go there. And it's the fastest way to make the big leagues, but the hardest place to stay, right? Because you just get beat up.
And Travis, not only have he and Sean been a good pair on the field, you see those guys in the dugout in the clubhouse, they become really good friends. They don't care who is out there. They like that the other one is able to give them a reprieve. It's just been a really good partnership.
Well, and I told you, I think both of those guys should be happy because they're going to prolong each other's careers. And the fact they're going to get beat up playing 120 games.
It's rare to have that kind of combo with them both being right-handed, right? You could see a combo where you get a left-handed hitter,
righty.
I did, though, have a blast with BMAC. I was old. He gets called up, and he's going to catch his first game is going to be against me. And I look in my locker the day I'm starting, and there's a nine-year-old picture with BMAC and me. I'm in the big leagues.
Out of camp.
Out of camp. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Chopped to second in between Hop. Boy, that was a really nice 4-6-3 double play started by Torres.
Is that the first time you really felt old?
I just couldn't look at him. Like, imagine I'm staring on the mound. This guy was 9 years old when I took a picture. Yes, it was the first time I realized I was old. We won 7 in a row together.
Yeah.
And it actually it literally revitalized me in the three-quarter part of my career, where here's a young guy excited to be called up, and we just hit it off. It was fun.
Well, I watched BMAC those years as a fan, but then meeting him a couple of weeks ago, seeing him down on the field, and what a fan favorite he still is. I mean, everybody wanted to talk to him, get an autograph, and he stopped for pretty much everybody. In the air to right, Ozuna gets under this, and Stanton will take it. So a leadoff walk, but no damage, and we head to the 5th. 8-2 Braves as we march to the 5th. Hey, support the Braves into the home stretch. Go to MLBshop.com. Got jerseys, caps, t-shirts, everything you need. Gear up with your Atlanta Braves. MLBshop.com. Brandon Gaudin, John Smoltz, Jeff Francoeur up here. Kelly Kroll downstairs. And the Braves enjoying a 6-run lead. Max Fried back to the mound. By the way, we need to give a birthday shout out, belated, to our great producer Gretchen Caney, who had her birthday on Saturday.
Yeah, and I take full responsibility for that. I blew it, forgot, and I'm sorry, Gretchen.
Yeah, but now it's like a 3-day birthday for her because we've extended it through Sunday into Monday. That's the good way to look at it. In between, Hop eats up Matt Olson, and Cabrera will reach to start the 5th.
Now it's got to be a hit, doesn't it?
Well, the spin that was on it and where he was. You know exactly what Wash is going to tell him when he comes in on that ball right there. Come get it. That's a tough play when you back up and let that.
I mean, just based on the kind of unwritten rules, he didn't touch it.
No, that's what I think it'll go a hit, but I think if he'd tell you, I got to come get that ball.
It is a base hit. And now back to the top of the Yankee order. But to put a bow on that, Gretchen, you're awesome. We love you. Happy belated birthday.
Yeah.
And thanks for piloting the ship and not taking it right into the Atlantic. Because sometimes we try to take it there.
Thanks for not getting me fired.
Isaiah Kiner Falefa. He fouls it straight back. A Yankee team that, as we said, is struggling, coming in here 60-58, last place in the AL East. And Aaron Boone figures to be on the hot seat. Guy who obviously the Yankees fell in love with that home run back in the day against the Red Sox. But you don't take this team to the postseason and people start to scratch their heads and that seat gets hot. That one to the hot corner, and it's a 5-4-3 double play.
And I'm going to tell you right now, it's not going to be fair if that happens to him. Yeah. This roster was not put together well from an athletics position, athleticism, and the new rules have really made that stand out. And that, to me, is more on the construction of the club than the actual manager. What can you do? I mean, what you know?
To his defense, you can only put so many guys out there. And granted, they got a great bullpen in the back end. The problem is they haven't been able to get leads to be able to utilize that bullpen. And then when this guy's out right here, I mean, showed stats before, you've seen what they are with him in the lineup and without. I mean, it's a massive difference.
See him shake his head right there. He's right, and Judge is right, but keep going out there. I know they're going to come back in, but keep putting the pressure on the big guy and 6'8" frame to keep looking out over the plate and see if that umpire will keep making it frustrating.
Home plate umpire Chris Siegel. 1-1 here from Fried. Yeah, the injuries, though. I mean, the Yankees have been without a few of their starting pitchers. They had the injury to Judge, to Stanton. Right now you got Anthony Rizzo out. It's just been a tough season for them.
And they also signed some guys with some history of injuries, and they've proven that that's exactly what happened. And
Judge, hard hit, another chance for Riley. This was his inning defensively. Started the double play, takes care of Judge, and we are halfway home. As we hit the bottom of the fifth, let's check out our Fueling Up feature brought to you by Racetrack. We talked about this earlier in the Open. The Braves have been so good at home, but the last 30, 23-7.
They've had 27 home runs in their last 9 home games. They're home run 28 of the 30, and I mean that's what you talk about. Your pitching's just got to be halfway decent when you're scoring 7.2 a game.
Yeah, the pitching formula for me, if I were on this team, would change dramatically. It would be pitch the first inning like the 9th.
Get a lead.
Yeah, because you know your team's going to score. But if you give up 3 or something early, it kind of changes that. So if you can keep it 3, obviously, and less, you've got great chances to winning with those numbers. But if I was pitching with this team and this offense, you're never out of it. Pitch first inning like the 9th because they're going to score in the first.
The Braves in the first inning this year have just demolished their opponents, outscoring them 116-45. And I think when you do that, you get that early lead in those first couple innings. What a wave of momentum for your team.
Well, and how many times have we seen, we talked about it, 15 different starting pitchers for this Brave staff this year. Getting some of those young guys a lead to give them the confidence to go out there and kind of relax makes a huge difference.
Eddie Rosario 2 for 2, a double and a 2 RBI single. Ian Hamilton took over for Clark Schmidt, who struggled in his return to Atlanta, his hometown. And now Hamilton been summoned out of the bullpen here for what surely Aaron Boone hopes is a few innings. Shallow center. And taken by Bader, 1 away.
What about the year this guy's had, John? Signs a 3-year, $7 million deal. Starting shortstop to the All-Star game, and I think he's 4th in all of base in the National League in average.
It's an amazing year. Again, you never know when it clicks for a guy and when he gets his moment. And of course, Dansby being here and
yeah, I mean,
taking the spot. And
it's tough shoes to follow, but I'll tell you what, he's one of the most well-liked guys in the clubhouse too. Plays hard
and has fun. I mean,
he does.
Always
he's always
see a smile on his face. And Jeff, you mentioned how he's kind of changed his approach from when he was in Milwaukee to here in Atlanta.
Well, I just think, he's in Milwaukee. He's young. He had some home runs early, and it's a park you can hit home runs. And I feel like he's become more of a hitter here. And again, I credit Kevin Seitzer and the hitting staff on, the way they've cut down on strikeouts this year. How many balls we've seen hit the other way with 2 strikes, 2 outs. And that's how you really wear down a team.
We've seen that a lot tonight. Several RBI hits the other way for these Atlanta Braves and building this 8-2 lead. Three straight foul balls as this one will reach the seats.
I mean, eight All-Stars, right?
Yep.
Great. Yeah. That says it all. I mean,
6 position players, 2 pitchers.
You leave camp, you hear me say it all the time. You got to have your great players be great, your good players be good, and then you need unexpected. And when you get unexpected, you're going to have a really good year.
And people may point to the starting rotation the last couple of weeks because the numbers haven't been as good. They know that. But you think about what Bryce Elder did early on, made the All-Star team. Charlie Morton kept him in every game that he pitched through the first few months of the season. When you didn't have Wright and Fried, you didn't know how it would go. Well, it went as well as it possibly could have.
No doubt. There is no chance Line up every expert. Before the season starts, you predict you're not going to have what you just said. And where do you think the Braves would be, record-wise? Would they have the best record in baseball? No chance. But they'll be pretty good. They'll be battling for, it's a good division. They flat out took advantage of everything, the depth they've had. And let's face it, there was a period, not too long ago, that after we won 14 in a row, what was it, 18 years that they didn't go to the postseason or some crazy number, and they weren't developing
to the NLCS.
Yeah. They weren't developing their own pitching. They hadn't. And when they started doing that, that's when you see this organization and their young core players. But that depth of their pitching is starting to show itself, and it's why the consistency exists.
And now the Braves sitting here at 75-42, as you saw, 11 games up in the East. What a battle that was between Hamilton and Arcia. After fouling off all those pitches, he goes down swinging at the slider.
It was just tight and perfect placed.
Yeah, you're not going to lay off that, especially when you start getting in swing mode and you fouled a bunch off.
Forget about the 2 jerseys. He has to get a new hat after this.
That thing is dripping.
There is no chance he could go back out with that hat.
I mentioned Aaron Boone hoping to get probably a little bit of a longer relief outing out of Ian Hamilton. They've used him a few times this year as an opener because of the issues they've had with the injuries to their starting rotation. So he can stay out there a little longer if need be. He's at 38 pitches right now. Nicky Lopez, all he does is hit, folks. He's 3 for 3, and he's driven in 3 runs.
Wow. Again, though, I look at his approach. 2 balls in New York the other day to left center. Now that one right down the line with 2 outs that gave the Braves the lead. It's a simple approach.
You know, on the flip side, though, the New York Yankees, obviously, when you line them up, their starting rotation and bullpen was going to be pretty good on paper. And they had nothing but injuries with the exception of Cole. And that's tough to cover.
There's a violation, and it's 1-0. Well, as you said, that's why there should be defense for that man, Aaron Boone. There's pressure in New York, right? It's a pressure cooker, and when you don't succeed, they always seem to point to the manager. But there's been a lot of factors at play that are out of his control.
Well, he hasn't missed the playoffs yet, and I'll be honest, I thought he overachieved last year with all the injuries they had too, and he got all the way to the ALCS. Astros were a juggernaut last year. No one was beating them, especially in the American League.
Ronald Acuña's 4th trip to the plate tonight takes a fastball down the middle.
I'd be interested, Jeff, to see if you feel this way. I'm still all right. If I know you can't do this with the rules, but if I'm a manager going into the postseason, I'm fining every player that gets a violation in the postseason. Every player. I don't understand why it's still happening. Am I the only one that feels that way?
Well,
How is it still happening? It's 3/4 of the way through the season. And it's not like they told you last week this is a rule.
My kids are 10. I've told them to clean their room 100 times.
They're 10. They're 10.
You know what I'm saying?
The one that Jeff and I talk about, John, Ronald didn't like that call, is the hitter having to be in the box and alert, which is a subjective term at 8 seconds. So there have been a couple of questionable calls there. But for a pitcher, I hear you.
Yeah, but even if you know it's even questionable, don't make it questionable. The postseason, you cannot afford to have this happen. It could cost you a game.
You're right. My whole thing is, I'm not saying being the box. Some of these umpires, I think, are taking the rules a little different, and it's like being ready to hit. That's not fair if I have to sit there in my stance ready to go, and you can milk it all the way down to 1 second. Now I've been sitting here.
There. Yeah.
But at least the hitter gets a timeout. The pitcher doesn't.
Man, we deserve it.
I'm not saying you don't. I find that part of it, like I would have thought, give it till the All-Star break and you won't see another one. We're seeing one almost every game.
Yeah, that's about right. I think it's been 1 a game as we've gotten a couple of months into the season. Early on, you saw 2 or 3 a game. It's since died down.
Question is, do they give you a little more leniency in the playoffs?
Hope so, because no one wants to see that happen.
Payoff pitch missing in on the hands, so now Lopez to second.
I think that might be it.
Well, they got to go get him another hat
at the very least,
because if he was putting, he couldn't see the. There's no way he could see the ball. There, that's a sign for the new hat.
How was your game today? How was your short game? You were out there.
Man, it was hot. I'm not gonna lie. You know, I haven't been able to do much, so I'm not in the best of shape cardio wise. So
I'm just amazed that close to a hip replacement you can get out there and play 18 holes.
Well, technically, if the doctor's watching, I have not been played golf.
Sorry, didn't mean to out you there.
I'm not technically supposed to be doing it.
Close your ears, Doc. Earmuffs.
I'm not using my hips. I'm swinging all arms. So
you're in line. Look, I mean, he is pouring.
It's unreal. Meanwhile, a chance here for the Braves to add on to this 8-2 lead. 1-1 to Harris.
What about the Giants coming to town this weekend? Some of those guys are going to be pouring sweat.
Well, that's a good place to pitch because you know you're going to be comfortable.
Well, right now Hamilton is having trouble finding the zone.
I mean, the rosin bag is soaked, and the rosin bag is there to help that.
It's a lot of drippage.
It's a cold tub.
Needs that pool at the Omni. Harris, that came in on the hands. Well, everybody's coming in for it, and it'll be Volpe that takes it. Braves strand 2, but still lead by 6. Children's Healthcare of Atlanta can continue to provide specialized pediatric care to local kids and teens. When you give to Children's, you're not only changing lives, you're supporting the future of your community and doing it for years to come. Give today at choa.org/BraveKids.
They're doing a mystery baseball giveaway. Get on there, give money, guys. Donate to choa.org/BravesKids. John, I know you've been involved with Choa longer than I have. It's part of why I got on there, but they do an unbelievable job. One of the best organizations I know.
Absolutely do an unbelievable job. And I think I signed close to, I don't know what the percentage of what, it's a surprise, but I think I got close to 1,000 balls, or maybe 500 that I signed. So somebody's going to get.
I hit a smooth 200 this morning.
No, it's awesome. What an organization. Been lucky to be with them for 31 years.
Really?
31 years been doing the tournament. And just the people there and the facility in our backyard. I mean, people come from all over. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. choa.org/BraveKids to help out, folks.
As I said earlier, a couple months ago, we lost a great one in Shelton Stevens, who was here for years. So if nothing else, donate for him.
He's the reason I got involved.
Yep. He's got to be loving watching this offense. Between this and Georgia Bulldogs.
Meanwhile, guys, look where Max Fried's at. 6th inning. Just his 67th pitch. You look back to that first inning where he labored, but since then he's been really solid.
And it's huge for him to just get more reps, right? Without the stress. I mean, it's not a one-run game.
And here's a routine ground ball to short. One away.
And I hope, personally, I hope he's able to go a little further than what they had planned, just to continue those reps. When you don't have stress, don't pay attention to the pitch count. It means nothing. But now when you have stress, pay attention to the pitch count. It means a little more.
And you understood the first one in Chicago, 72 pitches, 6 innings.
Yep.
He was gassed up. But now you want to see that get to mid-80s, even pushing to 90 now, just because of where you want him to go. And I know he does. He had mentioned it the other night, and he ran into that trouble in Pittsburgh and threw 30-something that inning. That's why he came out after 4. But, he wants to build it up.
And 72 pitches against the Cubs, and really very few stressful pitches, John. But the 79 against Pittsburgh and those last 30 in that 4th were stressful. Giancarlo Stanton here, and it's 1-2.
Well, we just give in to too many things that have no scientific data behind it, right? Because somebody threw out a number, that becomes a standard, and everyone's supposed to live by it. But got to use some common sense, got to let guys to do certain things that are so stringent to, oh, you're going to break down if you do this, or you're going to,
Lined out of play, stays 1-2.
That's the thing when you're facing Stanton. A lot of holes in his swing now, but at the same time, if you make a mistake and he connects, you better watch out.
He waits as long as he can, use that upper body strength, tries not to stride.
5-time All-Star, and here he's going down, 94-mile-per-hour sinker from Fried, 2 away.
And just on that subject, you know what, I laugh a lot. Like, we have all these restrictions during the regular season, innings limits and all that. All right, whatever. You get to the postseason, why do they go away? Why do they magically disappear?
But that 100 pitch limit, which kind of always gets thrown out there for a starter, you've just always thought, don't pay attention.
No, it means nothing. I'll tell you right now, if you make that across the board and you can't repeat your mechanics, get them out at 60, because then you're going to be doing more damage to yourself if you can't repeat your mechanics. I promise you that if you said this to a pitcher, no results matter, throw all fastballs, they could throw 150 fastballs. Because where you get in trouble is stress pitches, stressful situations. But if you knew you could throw a pitch right down the middle and it didn't matter, and you're mechanically pretty good, that's the kind of stuff that I laugh at, because somebody came up with it to try to give a gauge or a barometer to where, like, okay, I can't get in trouble if I don't push my starter past 115. You got to use common sense.
That's one thing I've said, though. I continue to give the Braves a lot of credit on. Smoltz is Alex Anthopoulos, Cranny, Smith. They don't talk about innings limit with these pitchers. Bryce Elder's
and
getting the ball
never
every
talk about
5
it
days.
publicly.
No,
if
I
you have
love
it internally, that's one thing.
It's behind Bader here. 3-1 is Fried, but he battles back. 3-2.
Just go ask Mark DeRosa how he felt about Strasburg being shut down in, what was that, 12 or 13. It was his last year playing in Washington. He's like, if we're taking our ace out, shutting him down.
Payoff pitch. Ground ball up the middle. It gets past Lopez. A 2-out single for Harrison Bader. Let's get a quick message in here from our friends at Truist.
I never realized how important it will be to have you to reach the goal.
If I can make your business 1% better, I did something.
Hey, Frenchie, how long did it take you to learn the term layout in our business?
A couple weeks, I think. Yeah.
No one ever told me what that meant the first game I did.
What was the first game you ever did on
I did
TV?
it with Brian Anderson and Joe Simpson. It was a playoff game, Milwaukee and Philly. And I was like, man, I love the playoffs. You know, I got hurt, wanted to come back. And all of a sudden, I get this person in my ear saying, lay out, lay out, lay out. I'm like,
you thought you should lay on the floor or something?
Got him.
Yes. Bader tried to lay out, but unsuccessful. Let's see if Aaron Boone wants to challenge. Oh, they do.
So basically, I looked to my right, Joe wasn't talking. I looked to my left, Brian Anderson wasn't talking. So I figured it'd be a good idea that I shouldn't talk. I think he's in there, don't you?
I think he's out. He nipped that arm right before I think the thing got back. I think Travis d'Arnaud was telling him it's longer than 15 seconds or whatever it is, 10.
It did take him a while to
Watch
decide.
it. If we show that angle again right there in a minute, I think he hits that arm before the mitt gets back. Watch this right here. Okay, watch the glove on the white part of his sleeve. He's not there yet. He's not there yet. And he gets him right there.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think he's out.
Is it that flap that
catches the flap right there? Right. You're out.
You're right. Even if the hand was back before, that's going to be hard to overturn that. If it stands, it's the 25th career pickoff for Max Fried.
When they come back in a minute, John, and announce it, we're going to need you to lay out.
I was just going to say that, Frenchie. You took my line. Good play.
All right, Frenchie, what's this in our business? This is another thing in our business I wanted to see if you understand. Do you know what that is?
Person walking.
Oh, it's called footage.
Brandon, why are you laughing?
John, we may need you to sit out the 7th inning.
Why are you laughing? You're giving him ammo. Do you understand that?
The call stands. The runner is out. New York will lose its challenge.
Oh, the footage showed that he was out. We may be back. We may not be back.
We've had some clinch celebrations, and of course, a lot of Coors Light beer at your clinch celebrations.
Those are special.
Yeah, you think?
You don't get many of those. To have the whole clubhouse wrapped, your eyes are burning. It's what you play 162 for.
Check out Frenchie's full combo over a beer with Austin, presented by Coors Lights, on our social channels as they chat about everything on and off the field. Max Fried talking to Snit in between the inning.
I think he's working to try and get one more inning in there, what I think.
I think he may have convinced him.
Is that one of those, maybe I'll give you 10 more pitches, then I'm coming to get you? He's at what, 80?
stop by Volpe, but he's never going to get Riley. So Riley with his second hit tonight. Yeah, right around 80, Jeff.
Should have invited Hal Galima when I did that Coors Light thing with me with Austin Riley. Even when you shatter your bat, you're still getting knocks.
Yeah, right at the handle that thing was snapped. Perfectly placed. Jeff, I appreciated you invited me to coffee in New York. I appreciate you inviting me for that beer with Austin. Just a really kind partner welcoming me in here my first season.
I took you to golf, didn't I?
You did.
Okay.
Appreciate that.
Yep.
Where's the butt? There's got. I feel like the butt.
Yeah, because he really didn't invite me for coffee, and he didn't invite me with Austin, and so now
I got you.
Just kind of not feeling the love up here.
I hadn't met you yet when that thing was filmed.
Yeah, you could have sensed that I was going to be a part of the broadcast and reached out.
Yeah. I think it might have been the day before the hire.
Now, it is that combo with you two, though. If you haven't seen it, there's good footage there. Social channels, check it out.
I mean, as Glab would always tell me, I mean, are you done with the commercials? Because you're on my TV a lot. Do you have any more in the?
I think there's one more coming.
One more coming?
Yeah, just for you. It's kind of like we did the four-man booth. I think what I got out of that whole game is Smoltzy's still very disturbed that he was not in the commercial with Glab and Maddox.
Everybody knows it. I mean, everybody knows I should have been in that.
Volpe was cheating up the middle. Matt shoots it through the left side, and they're at the corners, and here comes the Braves offense once again.
And everybody can know that Riley and Olsen are the best 3-4 hitters in baseball right now.
No doubt about that.
Be hard to argue. I mean, what he's doing and the improvements he's made since Oakland.
Swing's not as hard. Do you notice that? It's not. To me, you know, he would get that big old load. The bat would move a lot. Now it's quiet. He's still taking the hands back, but it's a lot simpler, John. It's a lot quiet. And for him, it enables him. He's so strong, he doesn't have to swing hard.
Well, I mean, a mechanical adjustment on the mound is no different than at the plate. If you're an inch off and you're just not on time, like we talked about, it's a huge difference in this game. Because you just don't have time to make up your mind to swing or not. It's got to be instant.
The new reliever for New York is Albert Abreu, and so far giving up a couple of hits here. Guy who began his career with the Yankees in 2020 and 2021. Then he went to the Rangers and the Royals. The Royals designated him for assignment, and lo and behold, he came back to the Yankees. Darno able to lay off the slider, 1-2.
That's a big hole not having Rizzo on your lineup and in your defense.
On a lefty to compliment Judge.
Travis does chase the slider there, and that's the first out for Abreu here in the bottom of the sixth.
I mean, another thing you say about the Yankees is, you know what that stadium's like. You got to have left-handed hitters in their lineup.
Yes.
And they're basically all right-handed when you don't have Rizzo.
Yeah. Well, and that's, like you said, I just think you look at the different lineups, Smoltzy, and you see the depth of the Braves lineup and what they have, and you get towards the other one, and the Yankees lineup's just not as deep as we've seen in years past.
Rizzo was an interesting situation because the concussion that he actually had, they think, was May 28th, and then he kept playing. But just recently they sat him out starting August 1st because he was having strange symptoms. Said it felt like he was drunk all the time without drinking any alcohol.
Yeah.
So the medical professionals got together and said, hey, we need to sit him out for a while, and he hasn't played since the first of the month.
And it just explains a lot, right? Because he's just too good of a hitter. And to be in a fog and not react quick enough or see things.
Look at his numbers the first through May 28th, and he really struggled after that.
2-0 here to Marcel. Down and away. 3-0. Well, there was a lot of noise early. 1 run in the first inning for Atlanta, 3 in the second, 4 in the third, and 0 since. But the Braves still a commanding 8-2 lead and a chance to tack on here. Bases are loaded. And a visit from Matt Blake. Let's get a message in here from Delta.
On behalf of our Atlanta-based crew, go Braves. Delta, official airline of the Atlanta Braves.
Well, the Braves, as if 6 runs probably isn't enough, have a chance right here to bust this thing wide open.
Matt Blake's got his steps tonight coming out to the mound.
Yeah.
Been the Yankees pitching coach since 2020. And he's had his work cut out for him this year with the injuries and the issues that they've had. Jeff mentioned the bullpen. It's been solid for most of the season. Best ERA in baseball, but issues in that starting rotation and with the offense. And that's why the Yankees right now last place in the AL East. Eddie's had a nice night. A couple of hits, a couple of runs driven in. Here he doesn't have to do any work. A wild pitch makes it 9-2.
Well, Higashioka never even had a chance at this ball. This ball was completely spiked. Probably had to turn the other way, but that hit before the plate.
Grounded with the infield in, so nobody, well, they'll throw back and get Marcel, but nobody will score. Olsen had to freeze. Ozuna was in no man's land, and they're 2 away.
That's actually a pretty slick play, because Ozuna, the only reason you would run is if contact play was on, and you know contact wasn't on, so he just got caught in no man's land.
Big Bear got stuck out in the middle.
Yeah.
He was down by the stream looking for some salmon.
It just got stuck.
Yeah. Well, now a chance for Orlando Arcia with the runners at the corners. Good pop in the arm of Abreu, 98 there.
Today's attendance is 42,717. That's a sellout. 42,717. 41st sellout of the season.
Orlando had a hit back in the third. Everybody in the Braves lineup except for d'Arnaud has a hit so far tonight. 9 runs, 13 hits for Atlanta. See if Max Fried returns for the bottom of the 6th. We saw him lobbying his case. We're about to find out. 9-2, the Braves tack on. Looks like Max is ready. Is brought to you by Visit Mississippi. Wanderers welcome. By Synovus, #1 in consumer banking satisfaction Southeast. And by Yellowwood. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it. Atlanta in control as we go to the 7th. Max Fried will return, and he has been really good with the exception of a little speed bump there in the first inning.
Well, I love this that he's going out. I don't care what happens. The fact that he was able to talk to his manager and he settled in and he's used his defense. He hasn't had to try to strike a bunch of people out. Look, this is important for Max Fried. He's missed most of the year, and he wants to get in that rhythm. And to get in the rhythm, to feel like you can experience the 7th inning and then eventually the 8th, you're on your way.
That was our Zaxby's indescribably good play. His 81st pitch here tonight will be to DJ LeMahieu, who is 0 for 2.
You know, you're talking about LeMahieu, Smoltz, and all those years in Colorado and even first 2 or 3 in the Yankees, he always such a good job hitting the ball up the middle, the other way. One of the best in the game. And I think for him, some injuries have just kind of taken over.
Yeah,
taking its toll.
You know, that foot injury, the toe, you know how important that is, driving off and being able to go the other way. He just not the same hitter, and it's affected this lineup because he was Mr. Consistent when he got here.
He gets this by Olsen for a single.
Is that it? It's coming to get him.
Yep, that is it. So Fried gets into the 7th, but only faces one batter. LeMahieu singles, and Brian Snitker is going to the bullpen. The home fans in over 100 days got into the 7th inning, leads with a 9-2 lead, and now Pierce Johnson comes in to replace him. One of the new acquisitions for Atlanta, formerly with the Colorado Rockies. And for more on Pierce, let's go down to Kelly Kroll.
Thanks, BG. And he's been really good for the Braves and said this transition could not have been any better. And he said, you know, it's different being traded in the middle of the season. I've never done that. And you don't have spring training to get to know your teammates, the coaching staff, the catchers. Specifically pointed out working with Darno and Murphy. And he goes, they have made a world of difference. Plus, this is the best team in baseball. There's good pressure that comes with that. And I've been filling a role that I feel very comfortable with. He goes, it's fun to let that defense go to work behind me. And I just want you guys to know the jersey change to 38, apparently he was taking heat from his teammates. He is no lineman. He could no longer be in the 70s, John. I'm sure you understand that.
I totally understand that.
Yeah, he was wearing 76. He switched that up on the road trip.
Well, and I can tell you why this has been a seamless transition. You're not pitching in Colorado anymore.
A little bit easier when you get away from Coors Field. He's firing to Anthony Volpe here, who is 1 for 2. But John, relievers bounce around all the time. But to Kelly's point, how hard is that to come in midseason and get adjusted to not only a new team, but new catchers that you're working with?
Well, that's the whole thing, because, I mean, people think everywhere you go would be easy. It's not. There's so many factors. And, boy, they've come in and used him a lot early, right, when they got him.
And as Kelly said, he's pitched well. But obviously, Alex Anthopoulos and company, they did their work. They looked at the numbers in Denver and away from Denver, and the numbers away from Denver were pretty good.
Well, yeah. I mean, you assume most of the time your numbers on the road when you play for the Rockies are going to be better from a pitching standpoint. But I've been impressed. He's got a really good curveball.
One-two here to the Yankees shortstop. And that one missing down and away. There was that curveball. 2-2. Hits it to his counterpart at short, getting the lead runner for the first out of the 7th.
Good job knowing you're only going to get one there. Good job by Lopez, just making sure he kept the foot on the bag.
And now the catcher, Higashioka, who was 0 for 2 with a couple of ground outs. More opportunity for him with Jose Trevino being out for the season. Tore a ligament in his wrist a few weeks ago. Another one of those Yankee injuries. Good stop by Travis. Pierce Johnson acquired on July 24th from Colorado, dealing a 1-0 here. Another chance at short. What a recovery by Orlando, even with a bobble. It's a 6-4-3 double play.
Let's stretch.
Let's stretch. Stay tuned for the stretch, fueled by Georgia Natural Gas right now.
The Stretch is fueled by Georgia Natural Gas. Live the greener life with G&G.
Welcome into The Stretch, fueled by Georgia Natural Gas. Nick Green, Trevor Scales outside, kicking it on the battery with you. And come August 23rd, we are essentially giving the people what they want, Nikki. We're running back the oh-so-wonderful 4 Hall of Famer broadcaster booth because we are bringing back Larry. We are bringing back Tom. John is already in there, and so is Frenchie. Getting BG up out of the paint for a little bit of fun, some more stories, all the more energy as well, because the last time we had this booth, Nikki, it was an exceptional night. The comeback win against the Mets, and guess what? We're going to do it again in another series finale against that Mets squad.
It was fun the first time. You hope it's going to be just as fun this time. I think it's going to be. The one thing that they have to work on, I know Glav's worked on this because he got really good at it, bringing them in and out of break. Somebody's got to be the point guard. Jeff was so-so last time, so hopefully this time somebody else takes the lead.
Nikki Green has the notes for you to get you right for that broadcast, fellas, on August 23rd. And Braves fans at the crib, make sure you tune in. It'll be a heck of a time here on Bally Sports. But we got some more Braves baseball to get you to right about now. That's courtesy of our friends over at Georgia Natural Gas.
When it comes to natural gas, Georgia Natural Gas is your original hometown team. With reliable service and great rates for over 25 years. And with greener life in our lineup, it's easy to help offset your home's carbon footprint. Visit us at gng.com.
Back in the bottom of the 7th, Atlanta with a commanding 9-2 lead over the New York Yankees in Game 1 of this series. Brandon Gaudin, John Smoltz, Jeff Francoeur, and Kelly Kroll with you. Well, Max Fried got into the 7th, faced just one batter, and then exited, and a good job by Pierce Johnson of keeping it 9-2. Nicky Lopez will lead off the 7th. He had a great first start as a Brave, and now he's having a fantastic second start as a Brave. 3 for 3 with 3 runs driven in.
I mean, the guy continues to produce. Obviously, you hate what happened to Ozzie. Comes up with 2 outs. Gets that ball down the left field line, knocks in 2, nice stolen base, and then drives in a run up the middle, and then gets his 3rd hit tonight.
I don't think Ozzie knows this player, but
Wally Pep.
Yeah, Lopi was like had a kind of fun article and put it in his locker.
I think what Lopez now, what is he, 7 for 8 as a Brave?
Yeah, you saw the Yellowwood bringing the lumber feature. I mentioned it with those hits. He's also driven in 8 runs. First ever Brave to have 8 RBI in his first 2 starts in a Braves uniform.
Not bad.
That's pretty good. Oh, and by the way, he pitched in New York as well, as we said earlier, if you missed that.
Well, and the Yankees are still going to be stubborn and play him a certain way. When you've gotten 3 hits to that side of the plate, side of the field, and you're still like, well, we're not going to deviate.
Well, let's see if Nicky can shoot it down that third base line again. This time to second. And the Yankees finally get Nicky Lopez to retire.
So normally in my other job, I don't have to worry about the next day.
But now you do.
Now I do. So who do we got?
And the day after.
And the day after. So sleep's going to be very important. But who do we got?
Yeah, because you get a lot of it.
Who do we got tomorrow night?
Pitching?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was going to tell you it's the Yankees and Braves.
Yeah, I know that part.
Okay. Acuna lifting this one and into the glove of Stanton. It is Elder and Severino tomorrow, and then Morton against, to be announced for the Yankees, maybe an opener on Wednesday.
Okay.
Anything you need else for tomorrow, John?
No, that's good to go.
Okay.
The Yankees are hoping, obviously, that Severino can figure it out, because it has been a rough stretch for him. So talented. Injuries again set him back. Elder looking to bounce back a little bit from a couple rough starts, but that's part of the deal. And again, that's the thing I'm talking about. Like, the hitters started realizing what he was doing, and you're not perfect on both sides of the plate. Leave some over the middle, and he'll make the adjustments.
Do you think, John, that, you know, as a guy like him, he's reaching his innings, the most he's ever pitched? Do you have to kind of get over the hump with that too, and kind of get another
Look, I'm not saying everything power of the mind is going to get you done, right? But if you think negatively, or if you think things are going to, it's going to happen. So you got to put it out of your mind. You can't be thinking about, oh man, I've never done this or I've never done that. You just embrace it, learn, and go. And that's why I like the Braves don't talk about things outwardly. And maybe behind closed doors, they're going, hey, young man, we gotta watch this, or we're gonna, pull your innings here or there. But don't go in with a negative mindset, and don't be foolish by thinking, what's the difference? We'll go over by 40.
Well, there's a walk to Harris. Individually, with Elder's mindset, I know that Rick Kranitz has just praised how good he has been this year between the ears. And the big reason he was an all-star was he would just get out there and throw strikes. But even when he got into tough spots, runners at second and third, Rick Kranitz says Bryce Elder never gets phased. And it's impressive for how young he is that he works his way out of those tough spots so routinely.
Well, and the big difference is how they're preparing the players today. And they don't use the minor leagues to prepare them for innings. So you can understand, okay, we got to have some kind of limits. We can't jump by 40. And if you're not going to do that, then you're really, it's the reason why young teams rarely go deep in the postseason, right? Young pitching staffs, because they don't have, our reward system was different.
Yeah.
When Glavine, Maddox, and I pitched, we were supposed to pitch 240, 50 innings. It wasn't, that was the deal.
Speaking of Glavine, he said, tell John that they have a thing called game notes that will tell you who pitches tomorrow.
Oh, tell Glav I'm just doing good TV. I know what the game notes are. It's called banter.
Feel it. Be nice to get
to Thomas.
Get Tommy on the broadcast. A little phone a friend right now who wants to be a millionaire. Just see how that plays out. 2-2 now to Austin.
Where is he? Is he still in Florida these days? He bouncing around? Where's Glav?
If I was him, I'd be down there in Florida too. Look at the ocean every day.
2-2 pitch and a 3-2 count now.
Yeah, I'm the one that messed up a good thing. 10 years straight. No one missed a start. I was the first one.
What year was that?
It would have been, I mean, Tommy John's what did me in, but I don't know what the year was. We had a nice run going. Those guys stayed really healthy and made every start, and there was a lot of pride. And
Riley skies this, highest ball we've had hit all night. Stanton waits on it and sends us to the 8th inning. For the night, and you think about the Yankees and the Braves, these two franchises since '91, a combined 46 postseason appearances.
It's pretty good, I guess.
It's okay. First and second in all categories across Major League Baseball since '91 for the Yankees and the Braves.
Good pictures of A-Rod and Larry.
I'm just going to say it once and then we'll pass on it. We can't bring up the 2 World Series that they played head-to-head, John, in the 90s. Now we move on.
I know, such a joke.
Yeah, why did you bring?
Because I was told I was obligated to.
Oh, it's part of the deal?
Just part of the Crystal Now You Know feature. Now we're moving on from it. Cabrera, bottom of the order here for the Yankees. But the Yankees have not missed the playoffs, as you guys mentioned earlier, since 2016. They've only missed the playoffs 4 times since '96, but threatening to miss here in 2023.
I know obviously Cleveland has the longest stretch without winning a World Series. And then when the Cubs did theirs, then you started marking off teams. Of course, Kansas City did it. But when the Dodgers had 31 years, I think, before they won a World Series. And now the Yankees are approaching a streak that is way bigger than most people would think. And the stress, the stress of the, I mean, there's no better franchise for championships, right? I mean, they're the mark. So a lot of pressure on them, and to get back, yet alone, win another one.
Yeah, that last one in '09, they're 27.
That's just unbelievable.
I was trying to think that. When's the last time they've been to the World Series?
It's going to be '09, I think.
I think it is, isn't it? Yeah, 09 when they won it.
3-2 pitch here to Cabrera, and he fouls it off and stays alive. Yeah, that's their last AL pennant. They were there in 09 and have not been back since.
Speaking of streaks coming to an end, you guys can mark this down right now. My Lions are going to shock the world here in the next 2 years.
That's because you have the best head football coach ever.
Maybe, but we've never been to the Super Bowl, and it's a bucket list item for me.
Guy wants a live lion on the sideline. I mean,
they'll have to throw down to first. And a good curveball there. Jeff, you talked about Pierce Johnson. Takes care of Cabrera.
It's like Ricky Bobby, you know, and they throw the lion in the car or the tiger. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, Dan Campbell is a little aggressive.
I feel responsible even if I were to go to, you know, who knows in my lifetime if I'll go to a Lions World Series. But since I lived here Super Bowl.
That's going to be
That'd be an accomplishment.
That'd be a bit. Since I lived here for the last 34 years, you know, I went to the 2 Falcons one. And unfortunately.
Come on, we ain't going to talk about that.
Yeah.
You know, that didn't work out. I was having fun for 3 quarters and
who was it?
8 minutes.
Yeah, we'll have to pour one out for that sour memory.
1,
2, 3, 17. Well, good luck to your Lions and Dan Campbell. The Michigan boys still within you. We know.
It's a lot of hype. I'm just worried about that. You know, when you've been let down every year. A lot of hype.
Kiner, Falefa, a couple of hits and a run driven in, but right now the Yankees 7 behind the Braves here in the 8th. I'll check down.
Now this would be huge too. If he can cover 2 innings for you, then you tell yourself you only got one more guy to use down there. Again, the Braves are coming off a long road trip with no off day.
A 3-hit night for Kiner Falefa. It's been one of the lone bright spots for the Yankees.
He's a hit machine. He's not going to get a lot of doubles. He's not going to hit for power. The guy knows how to find the barrel of the bat and doesn't overswing. And you know, he was kind of the forgotten man when they made the moves they did.
And Bob Volpe up to play short.
And now he's been playing a lot.
I think like anything, they need offense right now. They need guys that can get on base, and as you said, John, he's been able to do it.
Here is Aaron Judge. Jeff, you were talking about how good they've been with him versus without him. Well, if you look this season, there it is, 36 wins, 370 in the 28 losses when he's played, just hitting 160 with 1 homer. I mean, those are staggering splits.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing that's tough is, you know, a lot of the offense is on his shoulders to do things, and you just can't do it every single night.
Plus, he's not right. I mean, he's playing through an injury that needs surgery, and he's going to try it and do it as hard as he can. But he's just not right. I mean, that toe injury to a slugger and the foundation of that foot is just
still one of the freakest accidents I've seen.
He's doing the game in LA, and we were mentioning it as if, like, you know, you can say, all right, Ohtani can't get hurt for the Angels. That's an obvious. But he's the next guy. For any team, you just can't afford him to get hurt, and he got hurt that day on that freakish play.
Hits this on the button, and it gets by Arcia. That thing was scorched, and they'll be at first and second. 102 off the bat.
It's one of those Arcia got in on him just a tad. He's so big and strong, the ball still comes off his bat.
Yeah, too much topspin at that velocity, right? I mean, you're trying to guess.
Yeah, it's one of those. Look, if he makes that play, it's a beautiful double play. With Judge running, you're going to get it, but that's a tough play to make.
And now Torres, as the Yankees try to inch closer here in the top of the 8th inning. Jeff, you said it, though. If Pierce Johnson can work his way out of this, don't have to dip back into the pen for another arm here in this inning. Coming off that road trip, not getting the off day until Thursday would just be huge.
Yep.
Another grounder. Riley's got this one. Lopez turns it. And it's a 5-4-3 double play.
That was such a fast exchange.
And it remains 9-2. Here for the Yankees, Aaron Boone has been ejected a league high 6 times. Here he went after Laz Diaz, and this video went viral. They were nose to nose. And Aaron Boone was very...
That was his facial expression on that was just beautiful.
Very animated. That reminds us of somebody getting ejected. I think a guy named John Smoltz and an umpire named Jerry Meals.
Yeah,
maybe.
he's out of here as far as I'm concerned. He had no business throwing me out of that game. None. He was a call-up at that time. I think I was a little upset.
Yeah.
Can you repeat what you said there? Do you remember?
Yeah, I said, you got a lot of guts throwing me out of that game right now. You just incited a brawl, was what I told him. And he did. We got into a brawl right after that. 2 good friends got into it.
Yes, they did.
They did.
I mean, Paul was trying to apologize, and Eddie would have nothing of it. No warning, no nothing. Did it? I mean, my guy got hit twice, and so it was no big deal. I hit him in the hip.
I just like that you tossed him after he tossed you.
Yeah.
That's just the best.
Like John thought that was going to work.
Hey, Jerry, you get out of here. Hit the showers, kid. Matt Olson takes it at the knees. That may be, I don't know, Smoltzy, was that as animated as you ever were?
Well, I was pretty animated when I got thrown out unjustly by Hunter Windelstadt at the play at third base with Chipper Jones, and he tagged the guy, slid past the bag. I was rotating because I was trying to get behind, and I pointed, and as Hunter came around, he stepped on my foot and threw me out immediately because he thought I stepped on his foot. And I'm just telling you, like, I mean, that was an easy win. We were up by like 6, and you can't. The problem about throwing somebody out of the game is if you're wrong, they never correct it.
Wait a minute.
I mean, this is just watch. He stepped on my foot. I mean,
I think your leg might have made contact first.
No, and then I cannot repeat what Bobby, and then he goes and chucks Bobby. And I'm telling you right now, I cannot repeat what Bobby was telling him. It was so funny, but I was so mad. Bobby told me, go stand on the mound. You ain't coming out of the game. And so I stood on the mound like a 5-year-old with my arms crossed. And I'm telling you right now, the umpire goes, John, you got to go. And I said, I'm not going.
Well, I can't help but laugh at Bobby. He just parked up on that bench, leg up and everything, just going to sit there.
You only had 4 career ejections. We just saw 2 of them, by the way.
I know. And I'm telling you, I never got fined for any of them. What does that tell you?
That you were innocent.
Yes.
Darno into a double play, 2 away.
This is one of those nights for Darno where you walk back and say someone had to make the outs to keep this game going.
Yeah, the only guy without a hit. He's hit into 2 double plays tonight.
Well, the one I got ejected that ended up being on the cover of Sports Illustrated was the brawl in New York when Cangelosi charged him out. But the other ejection, I was standing in the dugout and I yelled out 3 times, you missed the call. And he said 3 times, what did you say? And I said, you missed the call. And he threw me out from the bench.
Seems pretty mild.
Very mild.
So really, we're just going to say
John never deserved any of these.
He never got ejected. We're going to rewrite
I got
the
ejected,
books.
but you're supposed to get fined. And I'm telling you, I didn't pay a fine.
Marcelo Ozuna gets his 2nd hit tonight. He's also walked twice. Quick message here from Alpha Insurance.
Hit a home run on your insurance needs with Alpha.
Frenchie, did you ever get tossed?
Oh, yeah. I got tossed 7 or 8 times, I think. I would flip like once a year and just go off. I got tossed one time in the 10th inning in Florida. I was 0 for 5 with 5 strikeouts. And I argued a check swing from Bing Young Kim on 3-2 that I knew I'd gone. And I just told Bobby, I did you a favor. I need to be out of this game. 6 times.
And I know we talked about it. when we had that telecast the other day, but the other time, and nobody got Bobby thrown out more than Maddox. Nobody.
Because he could get him fired up, and then Bobby's just gone.
Eddie Rosario spanks this to right. Gone. Atlanta hits double digits yet again this season. 11 runs and leading by 9. 17th of the year for Eddie Rosario.
Well, even in a 9-2 game, guys, we talk about the 2-out runs for the Atlanta Braves, and that's what they're able to do. Ozuna gets the base hit, and Rosario now pitch up in the zone. And John, you talk about when that ball's in the zone for him, he's got great bat speed, gets to anything, and he's got his 3rd hit tonight. Double, single, and a home run.
And you know what doesn't get talked about enough? I mean, at least what I've seen from afar, they don't give many at-bats away. Like it would be easy to do.
They don't.
And that's a credit to everybody in the staff and what they've done, because I mean it's 11-2, it's 9-2. It'd be easy to just give it away or go up there and.
But they don't. They just keep producing. Rosario with a 2-run homer, and on we go to the 9th. Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by your local Ford dealer. By the Xfinity 10G network. The future starts now. And by Truist. When you start with care, you get a different kind of bank. For the 9th, and we get a message in here from Zaxby's.
Warning. Zaxby's Southwest Salad is not for the faint of flavor.
Joe Jimenez is on. He is our Georgia Natural Gas Greener Life impact player. The Braves went Fried for 6, Johnson for 2, and now Jimenez, who since June 1st has a 1.14 ERA.
It took him a while to get going this year, but since then he is really, and I said with Nick Anderson going down, it's been a huge thing for him to step up.
See if he can put the finishing touches on the lid lifter of this series, as the Yankees will turn to Greg Allen here to stand in for Giancarlo Stanton. Well, we said it earlier, but the Yankees coming off that demoralizing loss yesterday. They got here earlier yesterday, much earlier than the Braves did. Would have been easy for the Braves to come in. A letdown loss yesterday. You get in at 3 a.m. You don't take batting practice, and this lineup comes out and produces 11 runs and 15 hits.
It's impressive. I mean, there's a lot of reasons in our game, over 162 games, you could understand why this happens or that happens, but man, mindset, on a roll, really good team.
Think about it. In the last 5 games now, offensively, 51 runs the Braves have put up. Takes a lot of teams 20 games.
Highlighted by that football score, 21-3. Game 1 of that doubleheader in New York on Saturday. Well, that was quick work. Joe Jimenez takes care of Allen, 1 away.
Well, and a lot was going to be determined by this recent trip and scheduling that the Yankees have been on. I mean, they had to face Houston, and they're in the midst of a gauntlet of a schedule, and they kind of hung in there against Houston, split the series, and we're going to take the series, if I'm not mistaken, against the Marlins, and then that stinger yesterday. 2 strange games yesterday. 5 runs in a 9th and 6 runs in a 9th for the Nationals to win. You just don't see that with the kind of bullpen arms that every team has.
Bader fouls this back, a ball and a strike. 2 teams will do it again tomorrow night, same time, and then again on Wednesday for the 3-game series before Atlanta does get that off day, and the Yankees will head back home after a 9-game road trip.
Make sure we give John the pitching notes tomorrow.
Yeah, how about Glav? Talk about knowing how to do good TV, and he's sitting here sending us texts about like I've never seen a game notes. Tune in tomorrow, Glav, because it's going to be a fun show.
feel like he's just missing out a little bit.
He might be jealous.
Yeah, I think he's a little jealous.
I'm sitting in his seat.
You didn't use his pencil sharpener, though.
Oh, that'll get him. If you take that pencil sharpener out and put it. Ooh.
Really?
Oh, yeah. We might have a brawl next Wednesday.
Might be your 5th ejection of your career. Let's see. 2-2 to Bader.
Yeah, he gets a little protective over the pencil sharpener.
Well, there's a lot of positives to take from this game, but I think top of the list has to be seeing what Max Fried did, right?
Absolutely, because it came out boom, boom, first and third, and that first inning could have got ugly, especially when you're trying to get back in the groove. And then his offense helped him out, and it's good to see him get into the 7th, even though he wasn't allowed to pitch much more than that. Those up and downs help.
And you said beginning of the broadcast you usually think 4 starts to get him back to normal.
Yes, for sure. I mean, that's not a scientific thing, but it's usually a general rule that you get those reps in.
2 outs in the 9th.
I'll tell you too, I'm impressed the way they showed up and played today. It would have been real easy to just use the excuse of I got in at 3:30 in the morning playing the Yankees, a lot to do. Instead, I mean, they have come out and they took it to the Yankees from that first inning on. Riley hit the home run. Fried got a quick 7, 8 pitches in the second inning, and then the offense just broke it wide open.
Billy McKinney will pinch hit here, the final hope for the Yankees. These two teams did not play last year. In 2021 they played 4 times. The Yankees won 3 of them. And Atlanta looking to take game 1 of the 3-game series here in 2023. And hopefully with the effort by Fried and then Johnson and now Jimenez here, kind of getting that bullpen hopefully to a little more full strength to finish off the series. A lot of reasons to smile tonight. 11-2. And 3 balls and a strike to McKinney. Atlanta has 38 wins on the road this year, and this would be win number 38 at home.
It's kind of key too, because Dodgers have caught fire of late, and coming into this game they were 4 games back, I think, best record.
Yeah. And that's the thing. You're right. And the Braves kind of turned it on after that, losing 2 or 3 in Chicago, 2-2 in Pittsburgh, and they went into New York. And like you said, took care of business, because that is when you talk about having, if you remember the year in 21, Smoltzy, the Braves had game 1, 2, 6, and 7 here.
Yep.
It made a huge difference. They got off to the 2-0 lead right off the bat.
Yep. 4-game series in LA later this year.
Yep.
That'll be a big one.
Yeah.
Braves are going to, that West Coast trip, long one, out to San Francisco, then to Denver, and then out to LA. Center field, well struck. Harris back. Can't get there. It bounces off the wall, and it's going to be an RBI triple for the young rookie shortstop Anthony Volpe.
Well, you can see why they like him. He's got good carry to his bat when he stays in there, and he's got power. The average will come up as he tightens up some things mechanically at the plate. That ball had great carry. And if he can't chase it down.
Yeah, exactly right. He almost did.
First run for the Yankees since the 2nd inning, but still down 8 here.
Yeah, the problem is Volpe, they were hoping to not have to rely on him offensively as much. It was more you had a lot of other bats and you slowly bring them along. Man, when the offense isn't hitting, it becomes, you see it a lot more.
Higashioka 3 groundouts tonight, one of them a double play. Out of play here, 1-2. The Yankees down to their final strike. Jimenez has what he wants. And the 1-2. Struck him out. Braves win. A dominant performance in the opening game of the series. 11-3 is the final over the New York Yankees.
Well, again, just a great job by Max Reed tonight. Coming out, giving you 6+. And this offense, again, continues to show you why they're breaking records, and they just continue to ride that momentum.
Sure is fun to win. You can tell when the team's been through the grind, there's nothing better than showing and going, right? No BP today, late night. Didn't stop from doing their thing.
Yeah, they just keep on humming. 11-3 the final tonight in game 1 of the series. And we will do it again tomorrow, folks. Join us. Coverage at 6:30 Eastern on Bally Sports South and the Bally Sports app. For Jeff Francoeur, for John Smoltz, for Kelly Kroll, for our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gunn signing off from Truist Park. Stay tuned now. Braves Live postgame show presented by Xfinity is coming up next. So long, everybody.